You're listening to the Focus Fork podcast. My name is John Hoff, and I am your host, and I help busy professionals ditch dieting and learn how to lose weight by simply learning how to eat a proper amount of foods that they already like eating based on the amount of movement they do in their day. So if you're ready to make lasting change and sustainable weight loss happen for you, then you, my friend, are in the right place and listening to the right podcast. Let's get started. All right. So thank you for being here. And my name is John Hoff. And I today I want to talk about something that is really important to understand, because if you don't get this notion correct, then likely losing weight is going to be a struggle for a long time. And that is, I want to talk about the number one mistake that I see that people make when they're trying to lose weight in a way that they can sustain, that can get there, that can last for forever, really. All right. Now, if you're new to me, then because I know a lot of you have been coming into my email list through my action plan. I have a 3-day action plan with a couple other little extra things in there, but it's an action plan designed to show people how to actually lose weight in a way that is going to be a more sustainable way, a way that's easier than going on some kind of crazy diet, restricting foods and all those things, and fit into a little bit more of a lifestyle of a person who's like myself, where you're busy and you don't have a lot of time or really want to drink replacement shakes for the rest of your life. So a lot of people I know are coming into kind of my world and everything through there. So if you're new to me, I just want to take just like maybe 90 seconds of who I am, because I think it's important for you to understand, who is this guy doing all of this teaching to us? Where's he come from? And if you go back to the podcast, the Focus Fork podcast, that's my podcast. If you go back to episode 1, you can see my story. You can listen to my story there. I actually have it on YouTube as well if you wanted to see me talk about it. But really, I struggled for many years trying to lose weight. I wasn't obese, but I was overweight. And I tried over and over and over again with different ways to lose weight. I tried counting calories, couldn't stick with it. I tried the Atkins diet, which worked really well, except for the fact that when I decided that I didn't want to eat that way for the rest of my life, I gained all my weight back. I tried exercising and I would throw in the towel after like 6 months. Just it was too hard. I really didn't have time to go to the gym a lot back then, and I make some time for it now, but my focus was always lose weight. I got to lose weight. I just got to lose weight. And I really didn't understand what I'm going to be talking about today, the number one mistake that people are making. And I was making that mistake all the way through, until I finally figured it out. And then once I did figure it out, then I moved on to start helping other people. I started helping friends I was working with. I started helping family, the way that kind of naturally happens when you start learning how to do things. And then I got together with a dietitian, and I ended up losing my weight. It was through a keto diet, a low carb diet, but it really wasn't, that was a thing that got me to actually lose the weight. But it wasn't the thing that made me keep the weight off. I don't do the keto diet anymore. And what I ended up doing, because I understood low carb diets so well, is I got together with a dietitian who was a low carb dietitian. We put together a program. Actually, I put together a program, and he was one of the coaches in the program. I was known as my low carb coach, and I helped people lose weight through a low carb diet. And I did talk about mindset, but I didn't really focus on it enough, I felt. And I had a big Facebook group. I coached people live. I did one-on-one coaching with people. We had a group coaching environment. I had a lot going on with low carb diets. But at some point, what I finally realized was that not everyone wanted to lose weight on, or I'm sorry, not everyone wanted to stay on a low carb diet for the rest of their life. They used it to lose the weight, but they don't want to necessarily do that for the rest of their life. So I started asking myself, well, what am I doing to help me lose the weight? And I was able to keep it off forever. And I didn't stay on a low carb diet forever. I suppose you could say compared to somebody who overeats carbohydrates, I'm on a low carb diet, but I'm not on a keto diet or anything like that. By the way, so I'm recording this episode right now. This episode is for the people who are in my email list that are on, they've gone through my action plan to help them lose weight. But I'm also going to be likely rebroadcasting this on the podcast. So you might hear that from there or something like that. This is actually coaching over coffee, okay? And I see, and Patty is here right now. Hello, Patty. Good to see you. Let me know where you're from and everything. But so yeah, so Hawaii, you can see my cup right here. We just went to Hawaii in July, and I've got four kids, myself and Lindsay. We're a family of six, and we went to Hawaii, and I found this coffee right here. All right, so if you're listening on audio, obviously you can't see it, but Kona Mountain Coffee, 100% Kona coffee. It is so good. It's so good. And I've noticed something. I ordered more. I noticed something though. There's a big difference between the pour over coffee. So when you make a funnel and you pour hot water over it and it kind of comes down into there, there's a big difference between that. And then I use the drip. I pulled out my old coffee machine and I used the drip one, and there's a difference in taste. So I'm going to go back to doing the pour over coffee. It's definitely really tasty that way. So let me take a drink real quick, because this is, after all, coaching over coffee. And all right, that's my story. And let me turn off my sign in the back. It's flickering. We don't need a flickering light in the back over there. So that's my story. That's how I got into the whole, weight loss, into coaching and everything. Patty, I see you just joined. Feel free to watch the replay or episode one of my podcast, The Focus Fork. I kind of talk about how I got into all of this and coaching and my story and everything. So let's get into today's main topic here. And if you have any questions, please open up the chat session here on Zoom and ask me a question. All right. I'm here to answer any and all questions. I've got, if you're going through our action plan, I have these things all sitting here. I'll answer any and all questions that you have, because I really want this to be the last time that anybody has to try to lose weight. Because I know that struggle. I know that struggle. And it's not only in weight loss. Okay. So the number one mistake that people make, it is this. It is that they're focusing on, okay, the actual things that causes somebody to lose weight, but not understanding that it's not the same thing that allows them to keep the weight off. All right. So let me put that in another way. The actual things that cause someone to lose weight are not the same things that allow them to keep it off. And what most diets do out there, you name it, low carb, paleo, counting calories, low fat, meal replacement shakes, you name it. All right. They always focus on what seems to be the obvious thing, the thing that actually makes you lose weight. How much sugar are you having, right? All those things. How much exercise? Are you in a calorie deficit? We need to get you in these things. But what the hell happens when you are you're like super stressed. What happens to your diet when you go out to dinner with a bunch of friends and family and everything, and they're ordering wine and it's at the Cheesecake Factory and there's cheesecake all over the place and there's appetizers and there's bread and all this stuff. And you're thinking in your head, I need meal replacement shakes. I need to stick to a low carb diet, or I can't have these things. I can't have the alcohol. I can't. Well, how long are we going to live a life like that? We need to find a different way. This is really, this is a person. This is a person kind of issue that we need to look at and solve. The the struggles with whatever it is that you're having with weight loss, I don't know what yours are. It might be that maybe you're feeling lonely and you're overeating. Maybe you don't have the time. Maybe you don't have a supportive family. Maybe you've tried so many times and failed that it just seems like I just can't do this anymore. So I'm going to give up. But I do know this. There is this like universal, there's universal laws of success, first of all, but there's also this thing that many of us go through that it's all the same and applies to weight loss and other things in your life. For example, maybe you're a great leader at work. Maybe you're the boss. Maybe you're the person who can organize. Because I have worked in banquets. Um, that's a whole banquet story back there that I used to talk about. But I was the lead in banquets. And maybe you know how to organize all the staff and all the people, and you're awesome. And like I remember this day when I walked in and I went on break, but the chefs and all the people, the other they call them B-list servers. I was the A-list lead server. They were supposed to get all the food out. I had everything set up for them. They're supposed to get the food out for this big function we had and all that. I walk in, there's like 10 minutes left to go before doors, and nobody did anything. And I was like, stop everything, do this. I need you to do this. I got the chefs, the people who are my bosses. I was like, I need you to stop doing that. I need you to do this and do this and do this. And it's like, your stuff. But that doesn't always translate to our personal things. That doesn't always mean that just because we know how to do that, we know how to use those same skills to lose weight. And for some reason, we're not like using those same skills. Think about it. If you're the boss and you give somebody the most perfect plan, you give your group of people the most perfect plan, you're like, I'm handing it to you on a silver platter. Here's how you can get the project off and running. Do these things, and you're going to have that success. And then you find people aren't showing up, they're not doing the things properly, they're giving up, they're struggling, and you're like, you just follow this and you get it done. So as a boss, you're going to start thinking things like this. Okay. First of all, did I fail them? Did I not give them the proper tools? Did they not have the right things that they need? Did they not have, was the instructions not clear enough? Then you'd be looking at, okay, well, why did that person show up late? Okay, they showed up late. How can I fix this person to not show up late anymore? How can I fix it so that this person who was struggling with this thing no longer has a problem with that? So now they can do that stuff. Okay. That's how we have to apply it in losing weight. Here's that example of that. I'm going to give you right now that perfect plan for weight loss. The weight loss, how to lose weight right now. I'll give you a perfect plan. I've said this so many times. Let's put you on okay, we want to lose weight. Let's put you on a low carb diet. All right, you're going to eat 20 grams carbs a day. You're going to eat 150 grams of protein, high protein diet. You're going to try to get at least 50 grams of protein at each meal, 3 meals a day. You're going to go to the gym and exercise an hour every day for 6 days. You're going to, You're going to cut out all sugar. You're going to cut out all processed foods. You're going to only eat whole foods. And every time that you eat, you need to exercise a little bit afterwards to burn off the sugar. You're going to lift weights and build muscle because muscle is going to help rev up your metabolism. That's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot. But if you follow it, you're going to lose weight. But now now what? You can't follow it. Why? Because it's too much freaking stuff. It's too hard. There's too many things going on. It's too far outside of your comfort zone. There's people that can do it, but you're not that person. And that's the same like with what I just said. If you're the boss, you're the person who could maybe do all of those things, but then you gave it to Fred over there, and Fred's not that person. And so then you look at, well, how can I help Fred be successful? And what we're not doing when it comes to our weight loss strategy is we're looking at things in the past of these are the actual things that will help me lose weight, that I can lose weight. But we're forgetting to focus on ourselves. Take a moment and look back on ourselves and reflect and say, okay, why am I failing at this? What is it that is messing me up? Okay, I overate at dinner the other night. I'm going to sit down, write in a journal, and figure out what happened. Why did I overeat? What did I think about? What was going on in my mind? Was there a triggering event? And the thing is that it's not the most sexy thing for losing weight to have to do a little self-reflection, and I get it, but that's what needs to happen. The real battle with weight loss is what's happening in here, not all the food, not all the exterior things. It's the things that's happening in here, the thoughts that you're telling yourself, the feelings that you have. Because if you keep saying, this is too hard, I'm not getting it. Why is it not working for me right now? I don't have time to do this. That's a big one. I don't have time to do this. I mean, we make time, don't we? If something is important enough. So perhaps there's something that you're missing. Perhaps there's something that you need to learn, or perhaps it's just not important enough, you know? And I like to think it's important enough. So we need to make the time. And the good news is this, is that if you're going through my action plan, it doesn't really take a lot of time to lose weight because like, I mean, seriously, a food log, right? Like, I think I'm going to eat some trail mix right now. This just happened to me the other day. So I have I have I have a little surprise for everyone that I'm doing. I did it yesterday, but I got to get all the video and stuff edited and stuff. But I decided that I'm going to go through one full day of me doing the food log on video, showing you what I ate, and like I had a breakfast burrito in the morning, what I ate, what I had for lunch, what I had for dinner, some of the things that I was thinking, and I'm going to log it down in the food log so you can see how I'm doing it. And it worked on me, even though I'm not trying to lose weight right now. Um, I'm just, maintaining. I have other goals at this point because I've hit my weight goal. But I thought to myself, you know what? I think I'm going to have some trail mix. And you know what? I thought, well, I'm gonna have to write that down. Okay, wait a second. Do I really want trail mix then? If I'm gonna have to write it down, that's what the food log's for. The food log is, and then I didn't eat the trail mix, but the food log is so that you actually take a moment and just think about what you're doing instead of just mindlessly grabbing. Okay, yeah, I think I'll have some of that. Okay, that's what that's for. That doesn't take any extra time really, other than to just simply write down the time and what it was that you ate. Super fast, super easy. You just have to remember to do it. But you get better at it over time at remembering to do it. We get it as we go, right? So another drink of coffee real quick. Kona Mountain coffee is so good. Um, but you know, I get that freaking like mind, what that we do to ourselves when you see other people doing things and when you want something so bad that you can feel it, that you can taste it, that it's like you've put in so much effort, you've tried so many times, and it might not be weight loss, it might be your financial situation, it might be a business you're trying to build, it might be the housing situation that you're in, the financial situation that you're in, and you've taken these courses and you've learned these different things on how to better the situation, like what you need to do. And it's like No matter how hard you try, you keep staying in that same spot. And it's like you're just spinning your wheels. And one of the things that really changed for me was one sentence from an early mentor of mine. His name was Jim Rohn. I will never forget this sentence, and it is what I live my life by. And that is, you have to work harder on yourself than you do your job. And your job doesn't necessarily mean the job you go out and work on. It can mean really anything. Okay, your job at trying to lose weight, your job at trying to better your financial situation. If you want to better those things, you have to work harder on yourself than the actual counting the calories, maintaining a food log, and all that. You have to you have to look at, why are you overeating? The most important factor for weight loss here, okay? Aside from, the mental thing, what you're telling yourself, but the most important factor as far as like physically losing weight, do you think it's how much food you're eating, or do you think it's what you're eating? How much or what? The answer is how much. What's the volume of food that you're eating? Now, what you're eating as far as food quality can help. And food quality is also going to be able to help you to, improve your health in other ways. But if we're talking about someone who has like, you got 60 pounds, 100 pounds, however many pounds you want to lose, all we need to get you in is a calorie deficit. You don't have to count calories, but it just means that you need to eat a little bit less of whatever it is that you're already doing. You need to eat less calories of it, okay? Now, I don't mean when I say less, I'm not necessarily saying volume of food, because, you could eat a bunch of leafy greens and it's the same volume of food, but it's less calorie food, right? But in the end, to lose weight, we have to figure out, why are we overeating? And until you figure out why you're overeating, why you have a hard time stopping eating the food, why you have a hard time, going back for seconds and stopping going back for seconds, why you are eating when you get stressed, why you are eating when you are bored or irritated or habitual eating. Until you figure that stuff out, I'm telling you right now, you can pick any diet that you want. Any diet. I don't care what diet it is. You can pick it and you'll probably lose weight for a short period and you can gain it all back, or a lot of it back. That's because the real work is internal work. The real work is figuring out why you're overeating these foods. And all right. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, please let me know. I have some notes that I jotted down for myself. Let me see if I put anything on here that self-sabotage. I wrote, that's the big thing, is that, like, again, what I'm saying there is that you can have the best freaking diet in the world, but if you keep shooting yourself in the foot, then it's not going to work. So we have to figure out, how do we not shoot ourselves in the foot, right? And if we can figure that out, we can lose however much weight it is that we want to lose. And going in at it like all at once, that's another thing, is that, like, we humans are like this. We have this like black and white mentality of everything is black and white. Either it is or it isn't. And with losing weight, that's a very scary place to be in, because if you haven't hit your goal, let's say, or if it's not moving fast enough for you or something, a lot of times we get in this thought process of, well, I should be further along than I am by now. I've been struggling. I was overeating the other night, and so it's just not working. I'm just not getting it. I'm not figuring it out. Instead of, maybe in the middle, we say, okay, but am I making progress? Last month, would I have overeaten that meal and just not even thought about it? But today, I'm thinking about it and thinking, wow, I kind of overate and everything. And guess what? You're getting it. You might forget to do a food log 80% of the time, but then you remember, I'm not doing the food log. I got to remember, okay, you're getting it. That's progress. That's progress. No progress would be you just set it aside, throw it aside, you never even think about it. So it's that black and white thinking that we need to get away from and just acknowledge that losing weight is not something that we necessarily want to throw everything at all at once, but let's start somewhere and let's progress over time to get there. All right. Let's see what else I put on here. You have to, when you find out what's triggering you, you got to figure that out. If you're overeating because of stress, here's the thing, okay? Food, food for probably most of us, it's a coping mechanism. It's a mechanism of allowing us to change our attention to something else. So if you're eating because let's just say you got stressed out, then we might be turning to food. And the reason why is because we need an attention change. We need our thinking to go somewhere else because we don't want to deal with that emotion right now. And that food gives you something else to do. You're touching something, you're doing something, you're eating something, you're thinking about the food or something. It gives you something else to do. But when you go on a diet, again, the number one mistake that I see that people make when they're trying to lose weight is they just try to focus on diet, right? Restrict, 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 restrict. And a lot of times that's binge, binge, binge. Forget, forget, forget. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. And when you take away that coping mechanism all at once and you get stressed out and you used to reach for food, but now you're not allowed to because the diet says you're not allowed to eat that anymore. What are you left with? Stress. What the heck are you left with? How are you supposed to deal with that? That is what you have to work on. That's what you have to work on. You got to think about, okay, if food's not the answer, it's a change of attention. Where can I change my attention to? What is it that I need right now? And when you can solve the root thing that you need, you can lose the weight and you can keep it off because you focused on the things that were personal to you, not some diet plan that's written out on a spreadsheet, but you focused on your specific issues that need to be worked on. Okay. Okay. So that that is basically everything that I kind of wrote down for my notes for today's call. If there are any questions about anything, the action plan, you know, um, the journey that you're on, I would love to hear them. And if you're on my email list, the email, even if you're not on the email list, you can just email me if you want. I'm here to help. Coaching at focusedforkreset.com. And I send those emails out, right? All you have to do is hit the reply. Hit the reply, and or you can just email me at that email address. Ask me a question. And I might take that question. I'll keep your name private, but I might do a post on it on social media because if you have that question, likely other people have that question as well. All right. Okay. Well, with that, I hope you have a great Labor Day. It is Labor Day today. I hope that if you drink coffee, a good cup of coffee while listening to this. It's coaching over coffee. And I look forward to speaking with all of you soon. Okay. And I got something really cool coming that I don't want to necessarily tell just yet, But if you've been going through my action plan on how to lose weight, a 3-day action plan, which you can get at focusedforkreset.com/free. If you've been going through that, I've got something really cool coming. And I'm not talking about what I did yesterday with, going through like a food log and stuff. I got something even bigger coming and I can't wait to tell you, but I don't want to give it away just yet because I don't have it quite set up just yet. All right. So have a wonderful day. I think it's Labor Day. I'm gonna go binge watch my favorite show now. I'm gonna take the rest of the day off and it's the Umbrella Academy on Netflix. You probably never heard of it. It's a little different kind of show out there, but then again, Netflix has a lot of those shows, right? I'm gonna go watch that now and then maybe spend some time with the family and everything. All right. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you around. Bye.